Alright guys, how's it going? How's my audio? It's been a while since I've had this up, so I don't know how good it is or not. Alright. So, let's get into it. And here we are. So this is question number 1. What do you think of ELESTRALS as a franchise? I put this one on. This is a real softball question. I didn't expect anything less than this. People really love ELESTRALS, and that's not surprising at all. As a franchise, yeah, I think there was like 3 people voted, 2 people for don't like, and one person for neutral. Very, very overwhelming positivity is what I will say. But that's not what you're here for. You're here for the question I'm teasing right now. Also, 67 responses. Thank you all so much for showing out for this. My goal was 100 responses. I did not get that. But 67 is real close. Plus, we can make the 6-7 meet. I'm mostly just going through all these softball questions so people have time to get into the stream before I get into the real stuff that people will actually have comments on. So anyway, what is your opinion on ELESTRALS as a trading card game overall? So this was meant to gauge people's the card game, like as a concept. Do you like that or do you not like that? This is pretty much exactly what I expected as well. I like it a lot. I like it. Most people who know ELESTRALS know it for the card game. You're sure? You're so right. You're so right, dude. The last time Swole streamed, he said, I think it was like on a Saturday or a Sunday night. 67 responses. Yeah, we got 67 responses. Yeah, the last time Swole went live, it was like on a Sunday night, I think. And he says like, yeah, I'm probably gonna go live on like Monday or Tuesday next week, and that's been like 3 weeks. So I'm just like, it's gonna be tonight, isn't it? I just know it. I just fucking know it. So yeah, but like this response, exactly what I expected. Just like the first one, pretty much. Now here is the big one. What is your opinion on the ELESTRALS trading card game's current format? So this is as of a week ago. So people are getting ready for Worlds. They've already played this format a fair amount under the current ban list. And these are their opinions. This I was not expecting. We have 32% neutral and 35% say I like it. Insane to me, because people complain about this format all the time. You can't really go on the Discord without someone saying, man, I wish they would ban fish. Man, this format would be so good if they only banned fish. Man, this format insert fish complaints. And then here we are. Most people like this. A plurality of people, I should say, like this format. And then a majority of people either like or are neutral on this format. Which I think kind of demonstrates how good the underlying game is, that you can see a lot of people complaining about something, but then the overall opinion of the game currently is that they like it. They might be a little mad, but they overall like it. Let's get actual numbers here. So we got 5 for I like it a lot and 5 for strongly dislike. So an even number of best format ever and the worst format ever people in the same thing. Silent majority right. True. 16% for I don't like it. So even, let's see, 7.5 plus 16.4, that's let's see, 23%. So like combined, people who don't like it does not even equal the amount of people who do like it. Like strong dislike and dislike is still smaller than the people who like it. Now you could just say this might be just a bunch of new players who don't actually like have a bunch of like context about what this game should be or like what it's supposed to be, or like they haven't like seen the game enough, so this is probably just all they know. But we'll get into that. I did ask questions about this, and the next 2 questions are just about that. So the next 2 questions, what kind of caster are you and how long have you been playing? So most of the people replying to this are people who play in premieres. Let's see, so 31 plus 10, 41 people out of 67 play in premieres. So this is a pretty competitive crowd. They are competitive but don't play in premieres for whatever reason. So most of these people are competitive, and then also most of them play in premieres. So most of these people play against fish. The only people you can kind of speculate don't regularly play against fish are this 7.5% of people. But even then, these people probably play against fish sometimes. Welcome in everyone. Yeah, this is so this is a pretty competitive crowd, and they've been playing for a long time. 1 year plus, 69%. 69.7. We hit the 69 and the 6-7 joke in the same number. Yeah, that competitive and majority makes the format, likes the format or is neutral. Yeah. Yeah, no, people like this format. Like, full stop, people like this format. Or are neutral on it. You could argue most people are meh, which is fair. You definitely could argue that with the amount of neutrals. The golden percentage. But yeah, most people have been playing this game for at least a year. Which is a little concerning to me. I was talking about this result with someone else today, and you could take this result in one of two ways. You could either take it as this game has a big problem with retaining people, because the people who've been playing for 3 to 6 months and 6 months to a year don't make up a larger percentage of this pie. Or you could just say that the people who have been playing for a year are the ones that are most likely to have actually taken the survey, which is entirely fair either way. It's more likely the one that the people who have been playing for under a year don't know who I am. I am a very micro niche celebrity in the world of ELESTRALS, even if you can even call me that. The people who just like know about me and they took the survey. Shout outs to you if you took the survey. I love you for that. Thank you very much. The majority of people who responded to the survey have been playing for a while, at least a year, and are very competitive. And they all think that this format is they're either neutral or like this format. Which, this is not what I expected. I thought more people would dislike this format, or it would be more of a dislike than it to a like, or more of an even ratio here with a bigger neutral piece. But other than that, let's get into some more, more revealing and less revealing things at the same time. Alright, so I have fun playing ELESTRALS casually. I guess I should notice the format first. So this is, instead of 1 to 5, 0 to 5. Is there a way you can see like what percentage of competitive players like the format? Probably. I don't know how to do that in Google Forms though. I wish I could. There's probably a way to filter that. Maybe not, since it's anonymized. No, because I can go through every single response. So I might have to get those numbers later. But you have to think, like, there's what, like 21, 31, 52 people are competitive. Like, there's gotta be a somewhat strong overlap. And the people who don't like it, there's like, let's see, 11 plus 5. There's only 14 people who responded who don't like it. So, like, even with that math, you can kind of, like, see even if everyone who says I'm competitive and I play in premieres, like, said, yeah, I don't like this format, or I strongly dislike it, you still have at least, let's see, what is this? 11, 5, 14, or 15, no, 16. You still have 15 people who either like, are neutral, or really like this format. So that's some quick math. As I say that, I'm reminded of the saying, there's lies, damn lies, and statistics. I could just be lying to you all. Actually, I could be. I have no idea how to interpret statistics like this. I'm just a community member who made a survey and got a bunch of responses. And thank you all for that. I appreciate it very much. So anyway, back to this format of 0 to 5. So I like this and don't like this. The big disadvantage of 0 to 5 is that you cannot be neutral on something, which is both a good and a bad thing. I kind of like it because it forces you to like or dislike something, and you can't be neutral. I feel like a lot of people just put neutral on a survey when they just, like, don't have an opinion, or, like, don't want to have an opinion on something. And having it like this forces them to, like, really think and be like, do I like it or do I dislike it? Or do I like it more than I dislike it, or do I dislike it more than I like it? And I kind of like that decision point that it makes. Um, Instead of just having like 10 neutrals, one strong dislike and strong agree. Oh yeah, this is 0 is disagree, 5 is agree, or strongly agree. Strong disagree, strong agree. So you can kind of split up the neutrals, which I like. But I might change just because it's what everyone assumes. So I have fun playing ELESTRALS casually. This is entirely what I expected. This game is like almost built for casual play. As long as you aren't taking this game seriously and you're just playing like whatever the hell you want, you're gonna have fun playing this game. I guarantee it. It's a fun game. Alright. I have fun playing ELESTRALS competitively. This one, a little slow, a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? Not granular, maybe collated? Maybe separated? I'm not sure. But still the same pattern. If you like playing this game competitively, you're probably going to like it less, or if you like this game casually, you're probably going to like it less competitively, but not by much more. Unless something is horribly wrong with your game balance. So yeah, there's that. This is pretty much exactly what I expected to see. People love playing this game. And they love playing it competitively. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a world championship that's happening next, like a week and a half from now. Like 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now. Little under 2 weeks. I have fun playing ELESTRALS at my local game store. Yeah, people have fun with their friends. That's just kind of a thing that happens in life, and that is kind of borne out in this data. This one was not a mandatory answer, mostly because I know a lot of people don't have a local game store, which is a question we will get to later. But yeah, this is pretty much exactly what I expected to see. This one was a little high. I wasn't really expecting this to be as high as it is. Maybe these people just don't have a local game store and they just didn't see that this wasn't a mandatory question. That could be what it is. I'm not sure. I have fun playing in ELESTRALS premieres. Now this one, I had a little... if someone says 0, do they not have an LGS? I don't know. That is why I left that question as non-mandatory, because I was like, well, not everyone has one, so if you don't have one, don't answer. I probably should have put that in the question instead of just like making it non-compulsory and just assuming people would not answer if they didn't have an LGS. So I have fun playing in ELESTRALS premieres. This one most people like, which, why would you give up your whole Saturday to do something that you don't have fun doing? We usually have like 80 to 85 people is the average, I think, for this last set. After Kissing Me, there was that one where we had 90, which was kind of an anomaly, unfortunately. I really wish that had like started a trend of the format growing, but unfortunately it did not. So we have most people agreeing that that they do have fun playing in premieres. A few people say they don't. 5 people say they really don't. But yeah, this one is not very shocking. ELESTRALS tournaments have great prizing. Yeah, the tournaments run by ELESTRALS have awesome prizes. I'm personally like right here, but this is exactly what I expected to see. People really love prizing. It did drop off a little bit with Premier Pack 2. People really weren't into that as much. That's probably why there's these people here. Yo, what's up, Azerlocks? Yeah. Next. ELESTRALS decks are cheap and easy to build. Yeah, this game's cheap as hell. Yeah. I missed the stamp cards. There's only been one. Oh, you mean like the OP stamp? Oh, okay, yeah. They don't do those anymore. At least I don't think. The last one I think they did was the Full Art Stellar Stratomoff. I think that was the last one they did. They might be doing one at the end of this season. I don't know. I have no idea what it is though. But yeah, this organized play season has just gone on so long that it's just kind of hard, you know, it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel as far as like pricing goes, because usually these seasons are like 4 months long. This one's been 6. Yeah, it has been a while since stamping. Though I have to see it again. It'll probably come back. It might not actually be stamped anymore. I know that I'm pretty sure that they didn't stamp the Stellars for the X out of whatever Stellar they are. They do, it's holofoil now. And they're experimenting with that. Which is a little sad. I really like the hot stamp. It just like felt really nice to see. But yeah. Yeah, but otherwise this game is cheap as hell. Okay, so here is a series of questions that I thought of a distribution that would happen, and it kind of happened. And I just wanted to confirm it. So I can win a locals with any deck that I want. Now, this does separate players into people who think they can win anything that a locals with any deck they want, and people are like, I don't play this game to win. What are you talking about? Win at locals? Who does that? That one guy I know that is the ambassador and like has like 80 decks. So you have those two people, and we have more of these people than we do these people. And I think that's a good thing, mostly because it says that like there aren't very many tryhards at locals. If you can even say that there's tryhards for this game at all, which there probably are somewhere. But yeah, this one tells me that locals isn't that sweaty, and these two responses tell me that even if locals are pretty sweaty, people still think they have kind of a chance, maybe, if they put their back into it. I can't win any games in general. No. You guys are winning. So sorry to hear that. So sorry. Couldn't be me though. Couldn't be me. I win every locals I go to. I top 32 the less premieres I've been in. Actually true though. I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, that's not true. I didn't get top 32 at Kissimmee, and that was before that one. The last 2 online premieres I played in, I top 32 at those. I've been 0-X4 at the last few casuals? No! I'm so sorry. That is pretty interesting result. Is it an ego thing? A thought that one can play with, can play and win a game? those who are more competitive playing versus casual gaming. My locals is quite sweaty, says Shiznam. Shiznaz, my bad. Interesting. But overall, I think this is a pretty good distribution. I have literally nothing to base that off of. It is pure speculation and pure vibes. But I'm going to say this is a good result. It might be an ego thing. It also might just be like ELESTRALS locals tend to be very small, like 4 to 6 players max. Not 6 players max. I know there are some that have like 12-man locals. But usually because it's very small, people are like, oh yeah, them? Unless there's like someone that's like really good in their group, they're like, oh yeah, them? I can beat them. If I was really trying, I could totally beat them. Because you're usually all friends that play a different game, but then they just migrated, or like not migrated, but like also play this game on the side. So that might be one explanation for it. All right, and then next up, I can get top 32 at a premiere with any deck I want. This is interesting. The plurality of people disagree, but only softly. They're like, maybe, probably not, but maybe. I mean, I'm not saying no, but I'm not saying yes either. And then a lot of people think it's like, oh yeah, for sure. Top 32? I mean, like, all I have to do for top 32 is just play out my games, and then I get top 32. I need more cards to foretell and screw with my opponent's deck. That would be really funny if you foretell your opponent's deck and put it in any order you want. That would be very funny. I would love that would be so funny. That would be really funny. And then you just play, and then your opponent plays, what's the card? Helios' Slumber. It's like, I'm gonna put this good card back on top of my deck and then draw it. Instead of the bad card that you put on top of my deck. It's like, mine is very small, but 2 to 3 players always play meta because, well, it's practice lol. At 2 to 3 players, you shouldn't be practicing meta. I mean, I guess you could, but like, with 2 to 3 players, I feel like I should be playing jank every single week. Just to like mix it up, have people coming back, you know? It would mean foretell 2 isn't actually annoying. Fair. What card foretells 2? Corvishine? I guess. I'm trying to think what else foretells 2. Most things foretell 3. But yeah, top 32. So top 32 is probably the easiest top to get. Being an 80 man, you only have to go positive to more than likely get a top 32, which isn't that hard. I mean, like, obviously you can't do it with like a pile of cards you found on the side of the road, but if you put together a semi-competent strategy, you can almost definitely get a top 32 if you're trying hard enough. And a lot of people understand that. Some people are like, yeah, I understand that, but I'm just not good enough to do that. And then a lot of people are like, yeah, hell no, I'm not good enough to do that. And then we continue this line of questioning down to top 16, where we see a very more distribution towards, yeah, no, that one's too hard. I can't do that one. Where now it's not just ego, but the reality of, yeah, I top 16'd on meta, and that was really hard. There's no way I'm getting top 16 with any deck I want. Well, we get about 4 to 6, but about half play meta is what I mean. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, that sounds about right. It sounds like most locals. My locals is usually around 4 people, but like we all bring something different. There is this one person that brings the same Pantera deck every week. And somehow I still am never prepared for it. So sometimes she just like gets me out of nowhere. I'm like, oh yeah, that is in your deck. I forgot about that. If that's the case, where's my Barabog deck or Chrysor deck? Any deck I want, right? Lol. People are weird. No. Everyone has a pet deck. Everyone has a pet deck. And that's understandable. That's part of card games. Everyone has a pet deck. And people just like... Usually when... my thought process when people answer this question is, can my pet deck get top 32? I could top 32 with a Baraboss deck. I don't know if I could get much higher than that, though. Fair enough, yeah, you know. Top 32 is just a positive record, 3-4, or 4-3. Because most premieres are 7 rounds. Spiders. I feel like if you tried hard enough, you could get top 32 with Spiders. Spiders is definitely a deck you could get top 32 with. Yeah. Top 16 though, ooh, on a good day maybe. And you'd have to be having a good day. And then we get to I can top 8, and people are like, yeah, no. I'm out. I can't even top 8 with a deck that's good. Top 8 with a deck that's bad? Nah. Couldn't be me. We have one person here. We have one person here who's like, yeah, no, I can do it. Put me in coach. And then we have win a premiere with any deck I want, which is exactly where I thought it would be. There are a few more responses in here that I was like, that's interesting. Apparently this one person really is like, yeah, I can win with anything I want. They're just, if you know Yu-Gi-Oh, this is just Triff. 5 people think, yeah, I can win with anything I want. That's pretty crazy to me. That one person is Bean Soldier. It might be. I don't know if he responded to this or not. It might be. But yeah, this is exactly the distribution that I thought would happen. Like, locals, people are like, oh yeah, I can win at locals. Top 32, they're like, a little less confident, but yeah, I could do it. And then 16 are like, nah. Top 8, they're like, hell nah. And then win are like, oh fuck no. So this is exactly the distribution I was expecting, pretty much. So now we can move on to this one. This one's pretty controversial, I would say. I feel like I have to use a certain deck / strategy to see any success. So this doesn't mean win, but means see success. So if you have your pet deck, for example, and you're like, yeah, I mean, I could get top 32, but like if I wanted to do any better, I need to play meta, and I just don't feel like playing meta, so I'm just not going to do it. So people think, yes, they fairly confidently agree that you have to play a certain strategy to see any success. And that's kind of a shame. I wish it was just like a little more justified over here, but I can't blame people. A lot of people just like look at fish and like look at the draw 2 to 4 every turn, and they're like, how am I going to keep up with that? Yeah, spiders could do it. Just draw the 6/6 and back row every game. Yeah, no, fair. Yeah, no. So I understand why people feel this way. This is one that I will disagree with the community on, though, because like while fish is very successful, I don't think you have to play it to see any success. But that is also part of the wording of the question, which is I feel like I have to, which is the operative word, not the operative, but it is one of the operative phrases there, where I. So if you have a smaller ego, or you just like don't have as much confidence in your skills, you have to be like, yeah, I could play this deck that I really like and is fun and has all these interesting synergies, but if I want to see any success in this game, I have to play the strategy. Which is fair. Totally fair. Yeah, sometimes you just have to know your limits, and sometimes that limit is I have to play fish to win. And that's fair. I would like to see it a little bit more on this side, but this is pretty much what I thought would happen. I'm not shocked by this. Next up, I liked the most recent ban list. Very much people agree with this. I definitely feel there's a certain subset of strategies that are viable right now. Would like to see that subset increased. And that's fair. Yeah, that's totally fair. I understand that too. I was thinking with this that when I say a certain deck / strategy, it means like a tier 1 or tier 0 deck, or like there's something in the format that's like, yeah, I have to play this or else I'm just losing. Something like that, yeah. Strange that people are leaning towards yes when we see like clockwork several top 16 or even top 8 lists that look thoroughly insane offbeat. True. There definitely are some insane things, but that is the exception, not the rule. And people say, wow, this person got really lucky this game, or like, wow, this person had the mandate of heaven. That's the exception. And there's usually at least 1 or 2 exceptions in every premiere. But no one thinks it's going to be them, usually. So anyway, I liked the most recent ban list. Yeah, people love that ban list. They're like, oh, finally, they've done something to the format. They took out all the cards I hated, and now this format is good. Wait, no, there's fish. No. Draw 2 every turn. How will I cope? I must sieve. Anyway. Yeah. This is kind of what I expected. It was a very, very universally praised ban list, and I was not surprised by this result at all. All right. These next 2 questions are still about the ban list, though. I think the most recent ban list went too far. People disagree with this on the whole, but there are a surprising amount of agreeers. So what this says to me is that, like, yeah, I liked the list, but there were a couple cards that, like, I didn't agree with this hit, or I didn't agree with that hit, which I have seen from a lot of people anecdotally. I've seen people say that, like, yeah, this list was great, except they hit this one thing, and I was like, why would they do that? Notably, Cryovern and Lavalith are things I hear people say that they could have kept where they were, and it would have been fine. But yeah, on the whole, people think it didn't go too far, but there is a surprising amount of people that did think it went too far. And then the most recent ban list did not go far enough. Remember, this is disagree, this is agree. Most people disagree that the most recent ban list didn't go far enough. So most people think, yes, the ban list was correct. I say it went too far a lot. I'm very vocal. That is true. I do hear Risen's complaints a lot. As for me, I gave it a 4 because I feel they missed a couple cards, but overall a good list. Give me my lightning bolt back. I can be trusted. Lightning bolt. You mean Unk? What thunder cards? Banned. It's Elechic, but that's not getting unbanned. What are you, crazy? Lightning bolt. I don't know what card you're referring to. Anyway, it might be a Magic reference that I don't understand. surprising this graph is not the inverse of the last. Not really. If people agree that it was the right amount of hits, then it should be disagree for both of these. Eruption, good sir. Red card that burns 3, card game vocabulary. Ah, I see. Lavalith. Lavalith is a card. It is a lith. Oh, they were. Oh, okay. You weren't asking what Lavalith was. Yeah, I knew Lightning Bolt was a magic card. I just didn't remember what it did. But this one had a lot of agreeers. More agrees than the last one, I think. 16 plus 3 is 9. 20? 21 here. So no. But they are more concentrated in the slightly agree. That it didn't go far enough. So what this tells me is that there's a couple people. Do you like what they did with Electric Escape from Tartarus? Yeah. I think it's good the way where it is right now. Having to have already played the Divine makes it a lot less powerful, but it also makes it a lot, I won't say more versatile, but it is still versatile in what it can do. And if you're really hurting for a Divine Searcher, or like some way to recycle your Divine, you can probably play it. You might play it in Keone, because Keone, you can just play for a couple spirits, get it back, and if you really need it again, you can use it instead of having to load it up. That's another thing I like from Electric Escape from Tartarus, is like if you're running it, you can choose to not put as many spirits on your Divine because you know you have an Electric, and so you can kind of play around Divine removal that way by, well, you can't destroy it if it's already in the underworld. So all I have to do is just get it back, play Electric, get it back, play it again. So you can just like go Zeus for 1, kill your guy, play Electric, get Zeus back, play Zeus again, do your other guy, and then I have effectively Zeus for 2 without having actually given my opponent any reasonable chance to respond or to kill the Zeus. That double Zeus go because he goes Zeus for 1 is also cool. Yeah, now you can also do that. That is very funny. Yeah, it opens up a lot of interesting play patterns, and I really like that about the card. But what this tells me in this 3 agree category is that like there's just like one card people have a problem with. They're like, you should have done this, or you should have limited this, or banned this. But like overall, I like it. But like, there was like a couple, or like one that I was like really hoping you would get, and that's fair. That's usually the case for most ban lists. People are like, yeah, I like this on the whole, but there was like this one card that was a really problem that you should have addressed, which is most people. All right, and then the game is too slow. So these next 2 questions, you will notice that there are less responses here. This is because I added these 2 questions in like partway through getting responses. But these 2 questions were like just so like I needed answers to these so much that I had to put them in anyway. So these next 2 are have less responses, but they are still pretty representative, I would say. I should have put these in from the start, but I just didn't, and I'm very sorry about that. Anyway, the game is too slow. People disagree with this, which is pretty good. I like that people disagree that the game is too slow. But we go to the next one. The game is too fast. And people agree with that. Now this is an interesting one, because people liked the ban list, People liked the ban list. That slowed the game down to a crawl. People think the ban list did a pretty good job, but they still think the game is too fast. The game is too fast? 0. What? Yeah, it goes from alright, answers now live on stream. Game too slow, 3. Game too fast, 0. Okay, yeah. So what this tells me is people are a little disgruntled at card design because they still think the game is too fast. And that's not even like a general consensus looking at this. Like, there's 19 people who think so, that the game is too fast, and then there's 15 plus 4, 19. Is that an even split? I think that's an even split, actually. Oops. Yeah, that's 15 plus 4 is 19. 10 plus 7 plus 2, yeah, that's 19. We have an even split. Interesting. So agreeers are the same as disagreeers. Interesting. I don't know how to interpret this data. This perplexes me. Because the plurality of people say yes, it's too fast. But then the next highest group of people say maybe, but not really. Maybe this group is just like, yeah, it's a tad too fast. I don't know how to interpret this. I think I would have a better opinion on this if I had more data. Damn. Maybe on the next one. Speaking of which, I will be doing another one of these, so like and subscribe so you don't miss those. I'm probably going to be doing this once every format. So every time, probably after like the first 2 or 3 premieres of a set, or like right before a ban list. And then after a ban list, like before the next set releases. Because that's a new format. So it's definitely on the cusp of speed that people would like it, but stop being faster, I'd say. That's probably a fair assessment. That's probably a fair assessment, I would say. Interesting. We'll have to come back to this one after the next survey. I think the degrees of agreeing is also interesting. That's also true. Biggest agree is only slightly agree. Biggest disagree is nearly the same. Is nearly split between entirely disagreeing and barely disagreeing. That is another thing that is interesting. So collectively we can agree that the game is not slow, but ban list is good and didn't go too far. As far as anything else, it's a matter of opinion. I think so. The game is not slow, but it is too fast. Interesting. I have seen a lot of people say that this ban list slowed it down too much. Or have I seen people say that? I might be lying. I could be lying. I might be lying. Yeah, I'm just going to say I'm lying with that one. I just lied to you all. I have not seen people say this game is too slow. Yeah, because generally people like when this game takes like 8 turns. Game's a little slow. Ban list was good. Didn't go far. Didn't go too far. Man, I really want more data on this question specifically. Anyway, this one was just a boilerplate. Are you excited for the next set? Yeah, people are excited for new cards. People like shiny cardboard. This one was not surprising at all. Okay, and then we get to the short answer questions. I think there's no more. No, there are a couple of these. This one was a little interesting to me. What's your highest placement in a premiere? The plurality haven't played one. And the next highest group of people, actually no, it's not the next highest. The next highest group of people either got a top 16 or a top 8. Huh. So let's see. That's 18 plus 18. That's 36. So 36% of people got a top 16 or a top 8. And then 22 plus 16 is... Huh. Interesting. We had a pretty diverse group of people that answered the survey. We have 7 winners. That's crazy. Nice even spread, actually. Yeah, this is pretty even. Huh. That's pretty cool. Alright. And then the next up. Oh, this one, yeah. This looks like a country's flag. I don't remember which one. But it looks like a flag. Ah, man. Do you have a locals? And do you attend? The biggest group said yes, and I attend regularly. The second biggest group said no. Which leads you to believe that if these people had a locals, they would attend regularly. And it's just really a shame that there's like this percentage of people that like don't have a locals that they can go to. It's really a shame. And like, I know ELESTRALS as a company like really wants this to be as small as possible. But the unfortunate thing is that people hear about this game online, and that it's small, and you kind of need a community to play it, at least 4 people to weekly come up and play this game. And it's just hard to find that if there's like you're the only one that plays the game in your area. I know it was hard for me. It was hard for me to find a store that would be like, yeah, you guys can, we'll order your product for you, and like we'll let you have this play space. But we're not actually gonna like sign up for anything. That's too much. We're not doing that. Like it was hard for me to find a store that would like, yeah, we'll order your product. I eventually did find one, and I'm very glad at the store that did. Hard for me to say on some of them. I wasn't sure to leave any blank, but I haven't played in any events, and some of those questions did not have the option. Yeah, some of the short answers I probably could have left open, but I didn't want people to like not answer if they weren't forced to, so I ended up forcing people. And like some people were like not applicable, or like none, or like left it blank somehow, or like left it blank with a space. So there are ways to not answer if you don't want to. But yeah. Alright, and I think that's the last... Yeah, that's the last of the pie chart questions. Now we get into some of the short answers. What is your biggest frustration with ELESTRALS? This is the first one. I think there was another one. No, this was it. What is your biggest frustration with ELESTRALS as a card game? So we have a non-applicable, not being able to test decks and evolve strategies through an online client that is fully up to date with the game itself. There is kind of one of those if you go to ClashNet. But yeah, this is definitely someone who was really hoping for Clash to be a success and just unfortunately was not. Very unfortunate situation. If you guys want my take on a YouTube video, I'll give it to you. If you put 10 likes on this stream, I will do a YouTube video about my opinion on the state of Clash. How about that? Guess I'll like it right now. Like and share. Direction. Feels like we got a lot. Feels like we got to a faster format only to bring it back to a slower format. It has to be one way or the other, and not switching between the two unless it's too breakneck. This is an opinion that I have seen a lot. And I understand. I definitely understand. Livestream came out. It was a really fast, really combo heavy, really impactful format. And they were like, whoa, this is way too fast. And people kept saying, like, this game is too fast now. And then they made it faster with the first ban list. Or not the first one. But the second, they made it faster with the second ban list. And then people were like, yeah, no, this sucks. I'm not playing this anymore. And then they did the new one, and now it's really slow again. Like back before the set released, it was this slow. Got something in my eye. Does not feel good. Sorry about that. Lack of availability at the local level and feeling like the only way I can play is online premieres. So this is, unfortunately, this is the community's fault. This is not ELESTRAL's fault, I will say. Now hold on, before you go and be like, what do you mean, gamer man? The only thing they offer is online premieres, so that's the only thing I can play in. While yes, that is, besides the super casual, we'll discount that because that was announced after they probably filled out this this response. Yeah, the lack of tournaments is the community's fault. ELESTRALS can only host so many tournaments because one, they have to pay their judges, and two, they have to offer up pricing and shipping for all those prizes, which is a lot of money for a card game to front up, which I appreciate for them. Which leaves this big gap because there's a bunch of online tournaments that are run, but there's no, and if they don't have anything in person, well, that's the only thing. So, unfortunately, this person just kind of needs a locals. I feel like they would be really happy if they had a locals, but also if there were more fan-run tournaments, like the Rumios Rumble, like the Poison Nectar Monthly, that is not gonna happen anymore, probably. Which is why I'm announcing a tournament series. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not announcing a tournament series. I don't have the money to run one of those. But yeah, this is the community's fault. The community definitely needs to come together and operate more tournaments. Because we just need more places to play. Yeah. Finding people to play at locals, yeah, that sucks. We love our Australians. We sure do. We sure do. Finding people to play at locals, very sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's a problem. Balance seems as though a lot slips through the cracks when designing cards. This people do feel. I've heard people say this. Y'all remember the pit? I'm still in that server. I was actually the reason that we had the last tournament that we did. And then just like, I was like, hey man, do you mind if I use the server to run tournaments? And they're like, I mean, to be honest, you know, people just don't want to show up for tournaments, so I don't even run them anymore. I'm like, that's cool, dude, but like, I want to run a tournament. Can I do that? And you're like, I just don't feel like it, man. Sorry. I'm like, no, I want to do it. And he was like, fuck it, you know what? I'll run a tournament. Let me put up some prizing. Here's a stellar. If you win, you get the stellar. Tournament on Friday. And I'm like, okay, man, thanks. I get more spam in that server than I do actual messages from real people. We had the PNM, but then MBT had a kid. There's the Rungus Rumble, but only just had started getting those. Lucas does do stuff for that. And then I know Christoph sometimes runs tournaments. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, I say we need to do it, but it is hard. It is hard. It takes a lot of time. You have to put up pricing for anyone to compete. I mean, you don't have to, but like it makes a big difference if there's pricing or not. And then to facilitate all that, you need a judge, and you need someone to. I mean, another big problem is that like you can't use the Play Network to run tournaments. Not everyone's off on Black Friday. Yeah, that's true. I learned that the hard way. I'm sure the idea was people would be free. Yeah. Yeah, that was actually my idea. To host it on Black Friday. I'm like, oh yeah, people are off on Black Friday. It's the day after Thanksgiving. People will be home with their family. They're like, what do you mean people work on Black Friday? Crazy. I did not realize people who play this game weren't in corporate jobs, or a bigger percentage of people. All right, we got to get through 67 responses. We got to keep going. Balance. Yeah, this game does have a lot of balance cracks, notably like a Void, Champion of Artemis. Oof. Clash being the failure that it was. I heard a number of people say that they wanted to play and learn the game through the simulator, but couldn't because of numerous bugs with the client and all the cards. Yeah, that's unfortunate. The current state of ELESTRALS is stuck between the extended base set theory. Is this Swole? God, is this Swole? I sure hope Swole answered these. I don't know if it is or not. Extended base set theory and the next level of ELESTRALS that Divine Champions has tried to introduce. It seems as though ELESTRALS is in a weird state of designing new sets to expand what is possible in the game, but without a true set direction or understanding of what makes ELESTRALS unique. I want ELESTRALS to keep the fun identity of making the battle phase important like early ELESTRALS, but not to make it where the only way to progress and win is to have low-to-the-ground 5-stat strategies that can't be interacted with in meaningful ways to dominate the format. That was a very extended response. Wow, there's a lot here. Extended base set theory, the next level of change. I will say that they have tried. So, Lifestream and Sunstrike were under the theory, because people for a long time were saying this game is too slow. There's no game plans. There's only 5s, and we need a game plan deck. And then they made a game plan deck that was good in Lagargon, and people were like, this is too powerful. It's the only thing that actually matters. What is it doing? And they were like, okay, well, people are complaining now that the game's too fast, so we have to slow it down. But they already had made Sunstrike thinking that the game was too slow, so they had to speed it up. And they sped it up, in my opinion, a little too much, even without complete everything that is Lifestream. Or, yeah, I guess Lifestream. Next, I want to keep the fun identity of making the battle phase important like early ELESTRALS. The battle phase has never not been important. I don't know what they're talking about. Like, yeah, your opponent might get something that's like too big for you to clear, but that doesn't mean the battle phase is important. That means it's more important because you have to now find a way to get your guy big enough to out the big guy, or use some sort of hard removal. And I think that's like kind of the thing that I like about ELESTRALS is that it like, yes, you have removal and you have big guys, or you have little guys that can run over little guys. But that still doesn't mean the battle phase is unimportant. Maybe they have a gripe with back row. That could be a thing. I know a lot of people have big gripes with back row. Making the battle phase important like early ELESTRALS, but not make it where the only way to progress and win is to have a low to the ground 5-stat strategies. I think they are doing a good job of this with the rest of the set that isn't Moth and Sunstrike. There's like a bunch of ways to like remove or like get big enough to get over cards in Sunstrike. In my testing at least. Like, your deck has a way to get big. You might not have the cards in hand for it, or you might not have the spirits left for it if you're like low, but your deck has a way to get big enough to get over most threats or remove them. You just like have to have them in your hand or like search them throughout a combo or something like that. And I think that's where the game should be, honestly. You should have the options in your deck. But sometimes you just don't see them, and that's variance. That's a card game. That's how it should be. But low to the ground 5 strategies. Hot take. This is a hot take for sure. Fish is not a 5 strategy. I know. Hear me out. Fish is a game plan deck that just happens to revolve around 5 attack guys. It's the truth. It is what it is. It's not 5s. It's a game plan deck, but no one likes it because it's 5 because it revolves around 5 attack guys. I think I can agree with that. Block without, Tad is balanced. Nothing else needed to hit. I think I can agree with that. Shirt agreed. My locals is agreeing on playing a modified ban list right now. We're putting lock back to 3. Whoa. I don't know about nothing else needed to get hit idea. I don't think your screen is updating as you scroll. Ow. My bad. Sorry. Okay. But yeah, thank you to this person, whoever wrote this. This was a very in-depth response, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much for your response. Snowballing. When a player gets too far ahead, that is too difficult for the other player to gain tempo back. So this is a problem. This is very much a problem. Currently, if you like get to your like game plan and your game plan gets outed, you have no recovery. Usually. Notably, something like Lotagon. Is it bad I forgot Frostfall Lotagon got limited? You're so based. As a fellow judge, that would be concerning, lol. I've been out of my element for a little while. But yeah, there aren't a lot of comeback mechanics. I feel like expended draw is like such a good mechanic to have in the game, but like there's so many times where like I draw and I'm like, this sucks, this doesn't do anything, and then I expend to draw, and then if I had switched the order of those 2 draws, I would have like actually been able to do something. That happens to me so many times. Yeah, the expended draw taking your normal cast is just so powerful. I don't think there's any other way to balance. There probably is another way to balance it, but it'd be hard. But I think there just needs to be like some sort of inbuilt way and strategies to make them anti-snowball, or like give them some sort of comeback mechanic, rather than changing the mechanics of the game to better fit something to have a comeback mechanic per se. Inconsistent balancing, we went over that. Neutral needs more variety. Counter traps are too oppressive. Yeah, that's it. Power creep is too fast. If you play Drops of Leaf, you don't have to expend a draw. No, if you play Drops of Leaf, you have to spend 2 to draw and keep your normal cast. Needs more variety. Power creep is too fast. That's an interesting way to put it. I don't know if I agree or disagree with that. I'm gonna say neutral. I'm neutral on this. 3-cost power level. I wish this person would have said 2 is too high or too low. Some 3-drops just kind of the fact that it's so hard to get to a 3-drop. I understand why they're so powerful. Because they're really hard to get to. Even some of the ones with turbo ascensions just like are really hard to get to. So like saying, yeah, this is a 3-drop that like effectively wins you the game. But if it gets outed, you lose, and also it's gonna be really hard to get to it. So I think it's pretty balanced for where it is, and for how hard they are to get to. Set delays, yeah. Currently, the instability of the format and transition period from design has made the game hard sell for most people around me. It feels like the game can't steer the ship fast enough and has suffered losses as a result. That's interesting. I will say having 3 ban lists in one format is odd. It's like really odd. And like one of those being an emergency ban list was weird, and then they just had to do like a ban list because they do a ban list, and then they do one was like, okay, yeah, we need to like reconsider our entire philosophy on the game, so here it is. I understand it's a very turbulent period in the balanced history of ELESTRALS, but hopefully it doesn't have to be rocky from here. Not enough back row options, back row removal in the current meta. So this person is saying there's too much back row. There's not enough back row. I have no cards to protect myself with. And then also I don't have enough stuff to remove my opponent's protection with. I don't disagree with this entirely, but it is a very funny way to look at things. Alright, snowballing and tempo coming back is too difficult as you take damage. A deck that could do a comeback when low was logged on before it was hit, but players disliked it. Yeah, combat matters a lot, and we, as of now, have very few ways to affect combat. That is true. That is changing in Sunstrike a little bit. But this is fairly true. There aren't very many battle tricks, per se. Lack of support for the game in regions other than the US. This I can't really speak to. I live in the US. Also, variants having too much impact on the competitive level. I'm going to disagree a little bit there. If you're playing against Frost Casino, yes, variance has a lot of impact, but if you're playing a card game, there's going to be variance, and it's going to determine if you win or lose most times. Or not most times, but a good chunk of times. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Being in Canada, getting cards is not easy. Increased costs of cards crossing the border and lack of places to make a play keep it hard. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm very sorry to hear that. I wish card design focused more on enabling older, slower strategies to catch up instead of pushing out newer strategies that explicitly only interact with themselves, i.e. cards that only work with champs of certain divine. Let me play the cards I already like in a deck instead of just boxing them out to force them all in new ones. This person I disagree with. Not entirely in the first section, where I wish card design was focused more on enabling older, slower strategies. But this, no, you can't do that. That's how we got Like a Void, Champion of Artemis. That just got played in every deck, and people hated it for that. So no, we cannot have things that just like work with everything. There do need to be limits on things sometimes. If you want powerful effects, you have to have trade-offs, and sometimes the trade-off is you can only do it with this strategy, and then that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, That's just how it is. I do think they should. I'm not sure what older strategies you're referring to. There aren't really strategies in ELESTRALS the way that there are in other card games. So I'm not really sure what you're referring to. Like, I don't know, like a Rice Ridge deck would look like, for example, that isn't a Champion of Hera, not the non-Champion of Hera version. For example, I mean, some decks had themes, but like pretty much every deck that did well was some version of fives. Like pre-Firestorm, you had to squint to have some sort of a game plan established in a deck. Really, like a lot of decks were just like really samey. So I'm not really sure what they mean by older strategies here. Onboarding new players is tricky. I disagree with this. Most people I introduce this game to pick it up almost immediately. You know, like, oh, that's cool. Oh, so I can like, so if I do this, then it has that. But then if I don't do that, okay. So like only works with this one, and then this one goes here. I'm like, oh, so this is like that game. I'm like, yeah. Teaching players the game is not tricky, to me at least. It might be to somebody else, but yeah. I mean, Ayla's support is the Windbox support I've been waiting for. I can't acknowledge its crazy support though. Okay. I think the playtesters smoke too much weed instead of knowing how to test. Interesting. Lack of achieved goals. I wish this person defined what goals they didn't achieve, but okay. The snowball nature of seeing more back row and being able to pull too far ahead. This is kind of true. Sometimes you see too much back row, and then you can't do your thing. That happened to me in the casual the other day. I saw too much back row and not enough engine. Too much back row, just if my opponents see all there and I don't see any of mine, I lose, no matter how much I try to make a comeback. I will say, yeah. Hey, just caught up since I joined late. Yeah, no problem, MG. If you want to know, I assume you took the survey. If there's any questions you want to like go back over, just let me know. Yeah, pre-Firestorm, there just like weren't strategies. It was just kind of a collection of cards that you put some sort of bad engine into, unless it was fives, and then it was just good stuff turbo. It's hard to find. Okay. Different delays. Too much back row. My biggest frustration. I'm kind of glad that not only one who mentioned snowballing. Yeah. No. There is kind of a problem with snowballing. It's a hard problem to solve because sometimes you just draw the nuts, you know? Sometimes you're just better than someone, you know? I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but it's happened to me a lot. Sometimes I'm just better than people. But no, in all seriousness, it is a very hard problem to solve because card games have variance, and sometimes you don't draw the things you need to do your thing, and sometimes your opponent does. I skipped through the stream, but I'm interested in the short answer responses. Okay, so we just started going through those. We had a lot of responses to get through. I'm thus far the only guy who's cared about battle tricks, apparently. Weren't you the one who said the playtesters smoked too much weed? Or was that Dr. Bill? Sounds like a skill issue. Hold on. It's getting dark. I have to go turn on my light. No, I actually fight on behalf of the playtesters more often than not. Okay, that was Dr. Vilk who wrote that down. All right. I made nachos. They're really good. My biggest frustration with ELESTRALS as a card game is that I'm afraid to getting into a strategy that gets complained about enough by the general player base and having the entire strategy gutted by a ban list. Okay. This is a real concern. Actually, this isn't a real concern because decks are cheap. You can put together a moth deck next format for like $20. If that. There's no way. You can probably get a full art or two in there for that $20 too. There's just no way that deck is going to be expensive enough for you to like put the time in with the deck, do good with it, and then like regret when it gets banned. Like you'd be like, okay, yeah, that was fun. Unless they're talking about the time they put in to get good with it, which that is a valid concern. My thing with that is there will always be a strategy into a new set that will get adjusted on a ban list, and if you play that strategy before it gets hit on the ban list, that was just the opportunity cost you took to play the best deck on the format. You know? But yeah, I do kind of sympathize if they think it's the time. If it's the cards are so cheap in this game. You can build any deck you want for $20. And probably still get a full art or a couple extra hollows or like in there somewhere. So that I don't feel sorry for. If it's the time, I do feel sorry for them because that is something that you do have to opportunity cost your time into. All right, it's hard to find a store nearby to play at, and I can't make it to casual low-can nights, so I rely on Clash, but that is still in a state of limbo. No fault, just is. Yeah, that's unfortunate. With like an online client to play and test, you use ClashNet. Solar, I hate solar cards. Get good. Power creep too fast. Set 4 and play 2 5s is just too strong. That is kind of true, unfortunately. But there are outs. You just kind of have to find them. Stellars are overprinted, making the feel less rare than there actually are. Okay. Solar real. So this is a new one. We have someone complaining about rarities. Okay. I don't disagree with this, actually. They are changing how Stellars work in tournament packs because of this. They are no longer guaranteed in every pack. They are going to move to a more traditional reverse Stellar X of 99, X of 10 structure. Hate solar cards? How can one hate solar cards? Must be a lunar enjoyer. even the lunar players play solar cards. They play Capmel, they play Pharaohgeist. Interesting. But yeah, I don't disagree with this. They are making them rare, but like, yeah, printing 7 to 10. How many Stellars do they print in a set? It's got to be like somewhere around like 10 or 12. So, I mean, I get it. It does make them feel awful. I pulled a Stellar Bellowbee recently, and I'm like, man, it's not one of the good ones. Like I hit a card that I hit one of that only 99 in exist, and I was like, Mostly because I'm a gambling addict and my dopamine receptors are fried, but also because it's a bad stellar and it's not valuable. Um, it was a free box for my judge comp, so it wasn't that bad, but even still. I think we should have a restriction. Okay, let's see. A restriction for going turn 1 outside of not attacking, whether that is you cannot special cast or that you cannot cast runes or maybe you cannot set. I think that there should be a reason as to why you want to go second as an option, because matchups in entire games are skewed too heavily to if you go first, your probability of winning is very high. I would like to see something to how we saw Pokemon implement the no supporter player going first rule. Must be nice for them to not feel rare. Only time I pulled one was when I went hard into the Shattered Stars, and then it got banned. Rip lava. No! I'm so sorry, Shiznaz. Okay, so a lot of card games have this problem where going first is just too good because you get to play uninterrupted. Yu-Gi-Oh! Solved this by having hand traps. I don't want to have hand traps in ELESTRALS. So there are two ways to solve this problem, either a rules-based solution or a card-based solution. How is the first player going to establish a defensive setup against the second player doing the same thing that turn 1 player would do, but also gets to attack and draw? That is because you get to set your back row. You get to interrupt them. If you go first, you get to play uninterrupted and interrupt your opponent, which is much more valuable than an attack and a draw. Magic solved this by laughing at the problem and hoping it would go away. Yeah. This one's a hard one to solve, and I don't know how they're going to solve it. My personal suggestion is that there's a turn 0 where players can set their back row in their hand. But the player going first can't activate said cards. That's just my suggestion. They probably won't take that though. It's very, very unintuitive. That's what they're getting at. This weirdo has a suggestion in their response that maybe we should restrict the actions player 1 can take. Yeah, I don't think that's the way. People don't like when you take away their toys. They like when you give them new ones. So if we give the player going second a new toy, maybe that'll be enough for them to deal with the player going first. ELESTRALS Clash needs fixed now. This was a paid Kickstarter that was abandoned and scares me for the prospects of the future. I'm very sorry to you that you paid for the Kickstarter and the situation that it ended up in. It is unfortunate. Catering to certain players / listening to certain players over the rest. Yeah, this does kind of happen sometimes. Actually, it doesn't really. It does. But, like, you can't know what to do if you don't listen to the players. And if you do actions like that without listening to player responses, you just kind of fly blindly, and it's not very good. So sometimes you do just have to know to listen to the right players, unfortunately. Ruling issues. There are some things that can feel inconsistent, but aren't really when you know how the rules work. But yeah, I don't blame you for having these. Obviously, the absence of an official way to play the game online with friends. Unfortunate, but yeah. How it seems that the ELESTRALS team only focuses on certain opinions when it comes to the competitive setting, like the opinions of top players. It is also that the community never seems pleased. They can complain about wanting certain things banned. They get banned, the format shifts with the ban, and now everyone is unhappy with the format. True! You are never happy! This player is calling you out. You are being called out right now. Yes, this person is totally 100% correct. Let's see. Yeah, the going first in set 3 problem is a hard thing. Like, bring Hurricane to 1 is such a double-edged sword because now Fish gets Hurricane law. True. It's extremely difficult thing to solve. Yu-Gi-Oh! Solved it by making the battle phase irrelevant, and now I don't want to see ELESTRALS take that path. Also true. I don't think rules fix this. Going second tools would help though. Cyber Dragons, selective board wipes, etc. I do like the direction Yu-Gi-Oh! Is taking with the good going first, better going second. Like Unk, Moore, and Lavalith felt overbearing because you weren't actually comeback cards. They worked just fine at a parity wellhead. Yeah, this person, totally true. Whoever you are, you're based. NA, Clash, no EU support. Game became too narrow focused with new sets releasing. New cards are balanced against cards that are now banned or limited. Yeah, this person has played Sunstrike. The most recent ban list and the company listens to the loudest complainers too much. I struggle with the limited pool of cards we have to play with. Okay. I definitely understand that. There are always a bunch of times where I was like, man, if only there were a card that did like this one specific thing, then I might be able to play this deck. And that happens to me a lot. Delays and constant letdowns. My area doesn't seem to have a competitive scene. Yeah. Lack of back row removal and overuse of non-targeting removal. Ban Chrono and base set Volt / special cast from deck effects and draw effects. There are not a lot of draw effects besides Fish, and I understand why you think Fish is good, but like there are not a lot of draw effects in this game. Different teams within ELESTRALS company seem to not talk to each other. We just get a murder list, and then and they are printing new cards that are on par with power level with the cards that just got banned. Okay, so this is true, but this is not because the teams aren't talking to each other. It's because the things change, but they've already decided that this is going to happen. Like they've already like committed to the arts, the effects. They've already like templated it out. They've got the rulings issues adjusted, so they can't change it. Yeah. Different teams within ELESTRALS. That's pretty funny. Also true. It is 5 people at that company. Having to relearn lessons learned by other games. This is also true. This is very true. I don't have a place to play in person that is close enough. I have to be on the road 3 hours round trip to play my nearest locals. Realistically, that is too much to ask. I have played in person. The experience is like playing a totally different game. I have not been able to afford that commute in months because my family needs, plus it would be commute plus the playtime. I feel so sorry for you. Yeah, this game is great to play in person. I feel so sorry for you. I'm so sorry. The game needs better interaction for the For the back row, Hurricane needs to come back to strike fear into set 4 past turn. No. We need something else that is not that. It isn't more popular is their biggest concern. That's fair. Not enough people at my locals, being able to play physically can be challenging, finding stores, yeah. Probably set 4 back row pass. Some decks can chew through that, but it's not a lot. Wish there was a bit more back row interaction, but Hurricane can't come back. Okay, so someone knows how. Someone knows. Can't set counter runes before player 1 starts their turn. Yeah. The current waiting period, I dropped Shattered Stars when the price went up, but the big thing for me is Clash. Other than that, waiting for Awakened is also really painful. The Kickstarter just ended. They told you it was going to be a 2-year wait. I don't know why waiting for that is going to be so painful. Especially if you back for like the alpha or the beta. I might stream the alpha because I got that in my Kickstarter. SST is such an amazing set, and I love it, and will be testing it early. It sucks we have to wait so long for it. True. I will say it's not entirely their fault that this wait is so long. There are manufacturing issues, man. God, I hope they stick with this manufacturer for a while. Hard to come back from a game when you don't get a good start and fall behind your opponent. Yeah. Oh, we've come to the end of the first question. The refusal to shorthand anything, which leads to cards feeling like they have too much text for what you should be a simple effect. This is also true. This is very true. Games decided solely on who draws more better back row. This happens a lot of times, but I won't say this happens all the time. Alright. Next question. What is your biggest frustration with the current format? Big thing smash, small thing I win. This is not true. There is too much back row in this format for this to be true. It's just lasted too long. That's also true. I'm not looking forward to Fish Meta or whatever reason for a live stream comes out after Worlds, as I have to wait 2 more months for a new format. The ban list reverted the game back to 5's format. I personally don't think this is true, and it is stale and not interactive. It is stale, but it is not interactive. Sometimes it is, actually. Not every deck is valid. You can really only use 1 of 4 decks. Yeah, that's true. Once again, skill issue. Yeah. Need more shorthand for obvious common things. Expend is well defined, but return X spirits from your underworld to your spirit deck isn't. Yeah. Yeah, that could have a keyword. Just like a heal X. And just like define heal. Or if we had like a different word from like enchant. So like so if we had like 2 different words. So enchant always means from spirit deck to field. And we could have a different word like recover. And that always means enchant from underworld to field. That would make some things better. Yeah, replenish, restore, like, take your pick. Restore is a good one, yeah. Nothing, I think it's fun. Oh, okay. Okay, this one is a long one. I am not as frustrated with the current format as much as others. I believe the format most recent ban list was not as bad as many make it out to be. Most people do not think it was bad. Spoiler. While I am not a fan of how widespread Fish deck is, I don't think it is bad to allow that to be a deck in this format. Interesting. It could have been hit differently. Limit base Aphoros to stop constant draw power. My true frustration with this format is the player base is generally less willing to step outside of low to the ground, spirit efficient strategies, and into a wide array of game plan strategies ELESTRALS currently provides. While Fish is consistent, it is beatable, and players just need to figure out what their deck does to out it. There's also some frustration with the reliance on the Omni counter runes still, but they are load bearing and still serve as a place as without them the format would honestly be worse. The only real frustration is the length of the format, but that isn't a solvable issue as we know. Thank you to this person for putting this many words in this survey. I appreciate you for taking the time to come up with a response like this and put it into a fan-made survey. I think this take is correct. I think, yeah, Fish is not a bad deck to be a deck. Base Aphoros is a little powerful drawing 2 every turn, but generally skill issue on the player base. I like this guy. This guy is speaking the truth right now, and you all need to listen. It's just so true. I just don't have like many gripes with this at all. I just like kind of just agree with it full stop. Maybe the Omni Rune counter suite being load bearing. I think we could limit. I think if we limited or semi-gaze PTA and shield, it would open up a lot of space in the format for different counter runes. I'm sorry, but I think that message needs a shorthand. I agree with the message though. Fish aren't overbearing or too strong. It's just boring as fuck. True. Very true. But yeah, I really like this person's take. Majority of decks are predominantly run by Fish. Yeah, centralizing decks. Clash player? I'm not sure what they mean there. Little stale, not enough variety. The length of the format and the dominance of Fish. Back row removal, negating my entire turn. Yeah. Unfortunately, sometimes you just get gazed for your life savings, and then you can't do anything. But that's kind of the thing about ELESTRALS is you only get one normal cast, and if that gets stopped, you kind of just die. Not a lot of decks can play through their normal cast getting stopped. Not enough game plan decks. The format itself is fine for the most part, but the Whiplash, I go from ban list, completely changing the format. I think we saw this take earlier. And almost the deck's previous format were practically pushed out, which really added to my frustration. Yeah, that can be frustrating. Fish, specifically Nexus Draw Aphoros. Okay. Aphoros plus Aphrodite, turn 1 generates too much advantage. That's kind of true. Yeah, that's kind of true. Yeah, like 2 5s plus draw 2, set 3. That's too good. Fish are kind of dry. I like they're fine, but they're not very flashy or intriguing. Yeah. Base Aphoros plus Aphrodite. Yep. Turn 1, second would probably be Gorgon's Gaze. Just base Aphoros plus Aphrodite, turn 1. I think that Fish isn't actually the best deck in the room, but it is easiest one to consistently win with minimal effort, leading more people to play it. I wish people would be more experimental with their decks this format. So this is true. Fish is probably not the best deck this format. Hermes is probably the best deck this format, but people don't want to. The row with Fish answers, lol. Yeah. Hermes is probably the best deck this format. but people just don't want to play Hermes because it's a lot more complicated than Fish is. And I don't blame them. So part of a tournament is that it takes 7 rounds. And you have to play at least, 14 games. And knowing what to do correctly in at least 14 games is hard. So having your answers simplified for you in the form of playing a simple deck can be helpful for the mental strain of a whole tournament. And I don't blame people for that. Livestream was a double-edged sword, and parts of it are still pointing at the players. Power was sought after without accounting for the decision making. Power was sought after without accounting for the decision making. I'm not sure what the sentence means. I don't know what that sentence means. Bro. That's funny. But that is true. Livestream was a double-edged sword. It did give Game Plans a good deck to play, but it also gave Fives players not a good deck to play, and that's why they hated it. Funnily enough, it actually was the best Fives deck to get added to the game in Fish. Current livestream post-ban list is boring as fuck. That's probably Risen. Too dull, lack of viable options. Too samey, it feels like everything was reverted to stick a guy, spam back row format, feels very Fives format, even if the people want to argue it's not Fives just because it's 4 to 5 element pile slop. Just feels like nothing sticks to the board. This also feels very true to me specifically. Every time I play a game, I'm like, alright, if I stick this guy and he sticks like half a turn, I win. And then I play it and it's like, okay, yeah, that doesn't stick. I'm like, fuck! God damn it! I was so close! All I had to do was not get that! That one is mine, saying 4 to 5 element slop. Aw, man! Okay. I was so close. I was so close. Extra wild because my hot take is Hermes isn't that bad. You're navigating very few lines overall. It's just more than the 2 decisions most Elestrals decks demand. Yeah, very true. Feels very doomer, and I think there's answers that the great players haven't tried to the S tier decks. This is also very true. The Elestrals community is very doomery recently, and I don't blame them. Clash just got not canceled, but heavily delayed in legal limbo, and they haven't printed a card in 6 months. It's rough out there. I don't blame them for being doomery. I believe this format is so much slower than the format I love the most, which was livestream format, and playing competitively feels like I'm limited to only a handful of decks that play similarly. This person is entitled to this opinion. I won't say it's wrong, though. None. Fish is accelerated 5s. If I have semi-gameplay deck with a theme like Fish, I do not want it just to be 5s. Aphoros. The fact that there is a clear optimal deck strategy, and that if you want to play anything else, you have to build to counter it instead of optimizing your own deck. Oh, okay. So as there's 5s is too over centralizing, I have to play these. I have to play these counter cards in my deck that I don't want to play. Interesting. They're not wrong. But I feel like you can kind of safely put those cards in the side deck if you really want to. And some of them work against other decks as well. Alright, the fact there is a clear optimal deck strategy. I think that having a deck that could draw 2 consistently while also casting 2/5 attack bodies on the field and the rest of attack, yeah. Everything overpowered, where killed except Fish, which outshines everything else. Fish is too strong. It It is the only strategy other than Frost that can flood like it does, and add the 5 stat and draw power. It can be game ending when they can cast 4 guys over 2 turns. Fish is too accessible, too easy to play, too represented, and it's boring to play against. Overwhelming amount of consistent removal and control decks. I'm not sure what that person means. There are not very many control decks in this format. Interesting. Too many fish. I have not played much of it, but have watched a lot of streamed games of the current format, and it seems a bit boring. Banlist had to triple in size in order to get here. Conclusion feel like they're drawn too quickly on card power relative to other cards. I'm not sure what this person means by conclusion here. Interesting. I want to bring out my 2/3 drop, but oops, get removed before I do anything with it. Yeah, that happens to me all the time and I hate it. But then usually if one big guy sticks, it's basically game after that. Also true. Most boring game I've played this format that sours the format for me is my opponent went fish, set back row pass. I did Nabi effect, try to attack over, got shielded, they went champ up, I gaze it, took some damage, and then got shielded again on replaying Nabi. Oof. That one's rough. Yeah, that one's rough. For a stack, the counters runes feel very oppressive. They killed all the game plan decks and thrust us back into 5s. I enjoyed all the gameplay from post Kissimmee livestream. Feels like there's only 1 or 2 viable deck options for competition. I don't know if Fish seems powerful and it barely got hit on the ban list. Lack of a deep card pool, especially after ban list. OG Aphros needs to be banned or limited, and back row and a lack of back row removal. Hey, why the hell did we digress from unique strategies back to 5s? It's mostly dull for me. Fish were not super dominant, feels like a continuation of 5s. Nectar of the Gods was banned, but OG Aphros was not touched, so the card that does more than Nog in combination of Champ Aphros that is very easy to get in that deck, a 5 attacker every turn that also has the effect of Nog. It is also very boring and frustrating to play against Fish. You have to play as specific. Wait, no. Spicidic. What do you think this word is? I think it's supposed to be specific. What's next to F is next to D on the keyboard, so I think it is supposed to be specific. You have to play specific 1-drops that do not that do something against Fish every turn, otherwise you automatically lose from the absurd draw power the deck has. I don't have one. Maybe Fish is a bit boring as the top deck. My biggest issue currently is the current back row situation. A lot of cards and strategies are fun, but don't stand up to most effective strategies. I'd like more diversity inside a single element or strategy for player expression. This is a problem that comes with more cards being added to the game in total. Having 6 sets is nice, but having 7 is better. There's just like, especially since Elestral sets are just so tiny. They're just so tiny. They're like 100 cards max, and that's just not enough cards, unfortunately. I wish there were more cards per set, especially more commons. Because it feels like you can pull like 5 packs and have like a playset of every common. Alright. Honestly, just being able to play is a bit of a barrier, GM. Fair. Double gaze, but a real answer is that OG Aepharos plus Aphrodite is pretty annoying when on some decks and possible for others. I just don't like that they got banned Nog, but left 4 or 5 Nog on legs. Toolkits are great direction, but deck size limitations heavily restrict building to exclusively necessary cards. Creative building is more challenging, and toolbox style build / include searchable one-offs is nearly impossible. This is so true. This person is cooking. Dan, let me play a 60 card deck. Please. I don't even have to increase the spirits. Just let me play 60 cards. One expended draw equals game over. Yeah. But yeah, I really wish we had 60 card decks in this game. It would be so nice if we had 60 card decks. Oh, that's my comment, lol. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good. I really wish we had a bigger deck size limit. Or just something not so strict. Honestly, just being able to play is a bit of double gate, toolkits. Wait, where was I? Slowed the game down too much, unfortunately. I don't even blame the ELESTRALS team because I think some vocal people really didn't know what they wanted, and those are who they listened to. The cool decks got hit too hard in the crossfire of hitting the bad stuff like Blizz. This is also true. Because ELESTRALS is new, and the community and the team behind the people who make it are so accessible, people think that they can mold this game into any direction they like, and they project their wants onto it. And so they think that they can make this game. And they do have a lot of influence if they band together. But yeah, no one outside of hopefully Dan has a vision for what the ELESTRALS card game should be and can execute on it. And that's going to lead to a lot of tension between players because they're like, what do you mean you want this for the game? That sounds awful. Why would you ever want that? But then other people are like, oh yeah, that sounds awesome. 60 card decks? That's awesome. Yeah, we should do that. And then people are like, 60 card decks? What are you, stupid? That sounds like the worst idea ever. This 60 card decks means deck out is off the table. It's a strategy to win. I'm on board with that. True, we just make stronger mill cards. We make a Waylance, but it mills all your ELESTRALs. Alright. Slowed the game down too much, unfortunately. I don't blame the ELESTRALs team because I think some. Okay. Fish strategy is too easy to set up and then defend with counter runes. Exactly base set Aepharos. I like everything else. Fish. And we have gotten through 2 short answer questions. Okay. I think this one is going to be a lot faster to get through. What is your favorite thing about ELESTRALS as a card game? So the art, all the unique mechanics, Nexus, the way combat functions, and how life resource matters, the community. This one came up a lot. I was very excited about this. A lot of people said that the community was their favorite thing about this game, and that's always nice to see. The spirit system and the divines, spirit management and the usage, cool strategies, art, and community. ELESTRALS is such a unique resource system with its spirit deck, along with the Nexus mechanic and the receive effects. There's so much room for interaction and strategy, but also simple enough for new players to get started. Nexusing using spirits, Nexusing and spirit math, a variety of ways to play, health matters. Spirit management makes it so the game becomes very skillful with managing your resources properly. The spirit resource system, the amount of somewhat viable deck building options, that's Nexus. I think I know who this is. The creature designs and mechanics of the game are very well designed. The transparency from the people making it gives me confidence the game is a franchise as a whole that I don't feel elsewhere. This is also true. The Elestral team is very transparent, and I love that about them. Like, if they're not telling you something, you know it's for a legal reason, not just because they don't want to tell you. Spirit management, not available. Spirit nexus, spirit mechanics and related things. The casual experience is honestly really good, and we have an overall great community. That's nice to hear. The spirit system is nexusing. The spirit system, it's a resource that feels incredibly engaging and interactive and leads to an incredible depth of choices. Also, the community and company's player-first approach. I don't think I've ever seen an indie dev group work with the miracles the Elestrals team has. This is also true. The unique resource system, spirit mechanic, the community. No, spirit mechanic is a lot of fun to mess with, adding a layer that's not seen elsewhere. I love that the unique mechanics the game has to offer, and when the cards actually respect the resource system, nexusing being one of my favorite mechanics of a game, or of the game. I love the fun misfit decks that no one thinks of and tries, like Javelantis and Spiders. True! I love Jank. The community and collectability, as well as the low barrier of entry. Going to locals, practicing for Sunstrike. It's affordable and easy to learn. How collectible and cheap it is. Unique resource system, Nexus is cool. Many top decks can extort. Example, I think any deck other than Fire could win in base set. The option to play anything I want. I can rock up to an event with Crabs or Celestia and still perform. The community and staff engagement. I think that it is very skill intensive, even in the brain dead decks, because your life management is tied so well to the outcomes of many games that it makes the game feel different than any other TCG. The creativity and flexibility of decks, the diversity in effects, the spirit system, the community, all the old school Yu-Gi-Oh feel. The accessibility of cards, the cheapest to buy in, fun, cheap, easy to learn, play, and the artwork. I love the mechanics, easy. Love the arts, nexusing. This person loves Pharaohgeist. They're like, card game Elestrals? Yeah, I know that's fine and all, but Pharaohgeist, I fuck with that heavy. Pharaohgeist and me, we go way back. Yo, when he got on the list, I was like, I'm out for you. I was at his house for 3 days making food for him. It was a tough time. I made hummus. Alright. Alright. The resource system, spirit mechanic, the 3 drops. This person also loved Pharaohgeist. I enjoy the art. I like the spirit mechanic. Grassroots community, and easy to build decks. Spirit resource system. Each unique strategy is truly unique, except water. That element is boring. The commitment of the staff to create creature designs is relatively inexpensive. It is easy to explain to new people, and the art is phenomenal. It's very interactive. The gameplay super fun and easy to play. I love the cards as a whole. The deck building is super fun, and I love finding new ways to use them in different strategies. I love the spirit mechanic, also being your life total. Very neat idea. Eliminates dead draws and flooding other games can have. Probably the spirit system and how it affects all these different decisions, like deck building and taking damage. The breadth of cards available, that's an interesting take. And the willingness of the staff to judge a spanless and to imbalance metagames. Interesting. The community and the gameplay deck build. The community and the gameplay / deck building. Spirit deck means you always have the resource to play the game. Spirit system plus nexusing, diversity of decks, and accessibility to play in price and tournament hosting. Just make search deck include side deck. That'd be funny. Alright, this one might be faster. This one is, what is your current thing, your favorite thing about the current format? So right off the bat, we have 2 NAs. I mean, it is a joke, but also, unless. Alright. Currently, I don't really have a favorite thing about the current format because most people at my local quit. Quit showing up after the last ban list and emergency ban. Oh, come on. Faster paced games without blowouts, Blizz. None of the top decks feel overpowered but are clearly the strongest options. No Blizz. You can't get an advantage but not sweep a game in one turn. You can get an advantage but not sweep a game in one turn. I think the current format actually follows 4 game plan decks, wider than we think, along with a good decks at different skill levels. We have easier decks like Fish, Aphrodite, that you can customize the top end boss, ELESTRALS, to separate skill incentive Hermes decks, Frost engines that can fit into multiple strategies, and Solars and Dionysus decks that are more mid-range than mid-tier skill level. Okay. Though overrun with Fish, the game has nice back and forth, and the cards trade for cards. The tempo doesn't get too far out of hand as long as you're playing the meta, of course. Lord of the Ground decks, more interactive for game winning plays. The power of camels. Ooh, I think we know who wrote this. The speed of the game is perfect. Lunar, good-ish. The pace. I like the tempo and speed of the format. Games feel more fair than the beginning of livestream, even if I miss my second Locagon dearly. The toolbox of the format is fun, although I wish there were more variety in game plans like proper control decks. Hermes and Titan. A decent amount feels viable, and while Fish is obviously the best, not unbeatable. Feels like the format opened up some with the top end being reduced in power. Part of it is just the decks. Hermes, for example, is super cool. Voldusk had a good performance recently, but I also enjoy seeing changes in deck lists reflecting how people are adapting to having such a well-established metagame. Stuff like Galaxy and Eddy being incorporated into lists again, and on top of that, I feel like I can actually try to compete with the current strategies around despite not actually having any Firestorm or Livestream cards. We're going to take a minute to digest this response. Voldusk did win the Frimios Rumble, which was very funny. So, from what I'm seeing from this so far is that people don't like Fish, but they like Fish more than they hated Blizz. Is my general sentiment that I'm getting from this. Interesting. I feel like people hated Blizz since Blizz came out. I started playing around Moonrise, and people have not stopped complaining about Blizz since it got announced, pretty much. Give me my 3 drops and 2 drops self-discarding effects. True. Interesting. Not having any Firestorm or Livestream cards is crazy. If you're this person and you need Firestorm or Livestream commons or uncommons, please DM me on Discord. I will send you some in the mail. I like the slower, grindier games that pre-list LST didn't really have. Spirit management and just each spirit in general feels more important now. So people like when the game takes at least 5 turns is what I'm seeing. And the game definitely lends itself to that very well, simply because you can only do as much damage as you can put spirits on field. Which is a very genius way of balancing itself. Obviously, you can still, like, die out of nowhere. If you just get burned for, like, if you, like, have 10 spirits on board and you just get Ice Age for your life savings, well, yikes. Outside of top deck scheme is very fun. Current format has a good back and forth to it. I extremely do not like the current ELESTRALS format to the point I'm considering quitting the game, so my favorite thing is for the format to be over with the new set release. I do like I can get a wife board easy still even after the I will ban. What is a wife board? What is a wife board? I don't know what that means. Blue cards are my favorite. I love seeing them in the spotlight. Solar is still good lol. The variety of different kinds of decks and playlists, the diversity. I like the Like of Old package. I don't have one. The fact you can play 2 or 3 costs relatively easily and not feel like you've wasted your turn or resources. I assume white board. You know, that probably is what it is. I think that we finally were able to get most decks on par with each other. It's just one outlier that messes that up. Yeah. That would probably is wide. F is like right next to D. I think that we finally... the casual format is actually so much fun and exciting. This is so true. This is so true right here. I have banned fish during house games and have found massive enjoyment in those games. This is so true. Nothing, the fish doesn't actually win. Not true anymore. Water decks are good. Well, I'm a water enjoyer, so I like A for us being good finally. Sadly, 2 OP. Don't have one, but don't have a least favorite either. Fish is a defined baseline to build a deck around. No comment. Available decks are extremely fun. Varied meta. Feels a lot more like the game I fell in love with when starting in Daybreak Moonrise. The format has saved me time and money by me not wanting to play it. Hurricane is banned. Everything except fish. Too many people play it. Honestly, nothing. It is quite boring. More cohesive strategies instead of tempo good stuff decks. More Frost is back. True. Room for exploration. I don't have a favorite thing about this format. I actually do not like to play it. You can kind of play whatever you want. Kind of. A lot of viable decks. I feel it's a good pace. There are a lot of cards I enjoy using, and I think it's fairly balanced. Casuals has been what's kept me in the game at the end of livestream format. I'd like to see a bit of a shift in the competitive side of things. I wonder to what end they want this. The new strats that have come out that also tell a story behind the scenes of gameplay lore. Ooh, okay. Yeah, there have been a couple of those. I think the most notable ones I can think of are the Pandason and Panda Lin's Champ. Both got arts and Shattered Stars where they're like hanging out with each other. That's kind of lore-y. Dionysus is fun to play, searches well, and while it doesn't play many small bodies on the board, it is good at putting bigger laterals on the board. That is true. Removal of long-time annoyances like Blizz and Eruption. It feels very underexplored. There's a lot of decks, decent decks, and a lot of decks have creative outs to a lot of board states. Hermes is a treat. Fish has so many flavors, and Morfrost is there. And Morfrost is there, I guess. You know. Alright. What time is it? 8:41. Do you guys want to hear? Which one do you guys want to hear first? What are your opinions on the? There's two questions here. What are your opinions on the game as a whole, and what are your opinions on the format? And these are both extended response questions. Unfortunately, I only have time for one of these. So vote in the chat. Type 1 for game as a whole, type 2 for current format. 1 for game as a whole, 2 for current format. Game as a whole. We got 1 for game as a whole. Okay. Yeah. We have one. We have one person typing twice for game as a whole, so that's 2 for game as a whole. Oh, we got 1 for 2, so we got 1 for current format. Need 2 more votes, 2 more chats, and then we'll decide. Remember to like the stream and subscribe today. Game as a whole, it is. Okay. Alright. Not available. Great game, but one of my most disappointing thing is the card pool being so small and the constant unban, ban, reban lists because of balancing issues that could have been fixed beforehand or were apparent before the unban. Okay, so I get what this person is saying, and it is frustrating to have things unbanned and rebanned, but that was one time. It was one time that happened. That has never happened before. That something got unbanned and they were like, oh shit, yeah, no, that was a mistake, we need to reban this. Yeah, that was that was one time, okay? It's not constant banning and unbanning. But I understand the sentiment. I do. That was pretty mean to give people their dog back and then just take it away. I like it, and I think the game has good legs, art, community, mechanics. Just Sunstrike being so far is definitely not encouraging play. Also makes FastSell better. I have good news for this person. FastSell is like one of the top 3 decks in Sunstrike. No joke. Yeah, no joke, FastSell is one of the top 3 in Sunstrike so far. I think my current top 3 is Moth, number 1, obviously. 2... Ooh. Either Ares or Ares FastSell. I'll tie them for number 2. And then number 3, Hephaestus. That's my current list so far. Ares FastSell is crazy. The growth of the game has plateaued, and LGSs seemingly do not want to hold the game in their stores outside of areas where it has the top players in the game. That's interesting. Man, Thunder can't catch a break. What are you talking about? FastSell is a Thunder deck. It just so happens that the only Thunder cards you play are the Larva Cells and the FastSells. I guess if you really wanted to, you could play a High Voltage. But yeah, the game has plateaued as far as LGS growth, and that is very bad. please go out to your local game store and ask them to carry ELESTRALs. And show up to play at locals! Phosphocell is a solar deck and a yellow hat, and we both know it. True. The defense objects, I'm gonna need some evidence. The defense objects, I'm gonna need some evidence for those claims. Bro, Phosphocell is just so easy to get to in Ares, and then if you don't draw the Phosphocell stuff, you're still playing Ares. And Ares is pretty good. Have you seen what Kakare can do? I mean, the Armadon searches for a bank, a good bank. You can... All else fails. You can go Larvacell, Nexus from Ares. Oh yeah, you're running Anacell. You run 2 Anacell. The choice, there is a choice though. You either run 2 old or 1 old, 1 new. There is a choice there. And you either run 1 or 2 Phosphocell, depending on your ratio. You don't run old Phosphocell. You run 2 of the new one if you run 2. And you run the new one if you run it at all. The new one is just so good. As of now, no, I ain't seen shit. For all the doomering, no one is saying anything about the SST, their SST thoughts. Besides Moth bad, or Moth too good, so it is bad. That is true. The format, the survey is about now, not later. All right, great game. Just needs more people playing, and be open to playing more than one thing. There have been a fair amount of people in this survey who have been like, man, I love this community, but they complain way too much. Like, can they stop complaining so much? Like, goddamn. And I love that. And I love those. The community is literally calling itself out right now, saying, God, we complain way too fucking much about this game. Let's see. I think the game is more fun when there are more turns. I also think this. I am okay with more actions and even steamrolling, but there should never be a deck where it feels like there's not counterplay. I also do not like that the current turn 1/going first balance is as someone can get an entire combo down and set back row, it doesn't feel as though there is any advantage ever to going second. If I could, I would change counter runes to be playable in phases, not entire turn, so that the player going second can set and try to use them during the battle phase if wanted. Another, they need to change the rules because going first is too broken. I don't like the suggestion. This one's just way too convoluted. Love it, but need more people to play with. True! The game is great. It is unique in its design, while also providing translatable gameplay or familiar gameplay from other popular TCGs. It's easy to pick up, low cost of entry, and has the ability for high skill expression, deck building, and interaction. The game currently has a lull due to the time between Livestream and Sunstrike, but there's still a lot to do in the game. I feel the game is going in a good direction with the new card designs and focusing on new divine mechanics and gameplays around them. So this person has a very hopeful outlook for Sunstrike, and I love that for them. Good for you. This person, I love your outlook on this game. I really do like the game, and I try to play when I can. My opinion would change some if I had more time to play and locals to attend to. I know there are online methods of play available, I just don't have the time. Yeah. It feels like a lot of people's biggest problem is they don't have a locals. And that's just like such a hard problem to That's just such a hard problem to solve because it requires 4 people committing to something for weeks on end. Um, it's just oh god. I wish it was easier to solve that problem, but like yeah. Really good counterplay. The game is falling behind on the back end. I'm not sure what they mean by that. Hope Clash works out, and good luck on the video game. Continue making balanced cards. Continue listening to the community's opinions, especially higher ranked players. So this person likes that they listen to their top ranked players and then take notes from them. We did hear earlier someone was like, yeah, they listen to the top players way too much. So interesting to see a different opinion on that. Gameplay feels good and makes snowballs feel better than most other TCGs. Power creep is out of control. Ban lists seem to heavily favor vocal community rather than the vision of the game. Okay. I feel like vision of the game is a high... I feel like that's not... They're still developing this. They're probably still developing this specifically. Great, but with a few issues. Pretty good, but hope I get a local scene to grow faster. I'm right there with you. The game is extremely good, and the people behind are amazing. I understand we're in a rough transition phase for the game, though, and I'm remaining patient where I can. The creature designs charm me, the mechanics manage to take everything I love in Yu-Gi-Oh! And properly balance them, and the unique Xyz Monsters material mechanic and trap cards mostly, the unique nature of the Spirit deck makes deck building extremely fun and varied as time goes on. First and foremost, this game is still in its infancy. We saw the results of a set that went 0 to 100 real quick in its speed and where it has landed. And yes, I am excited for the next set to be able to see how the game grows. I will also like to see how back row evolves outside of the stable Gorgon Shield PTA. I have only been playing the game since late September, so this opinion is from 5 months of playing the game. And your opinion is not unfounded in any way. This is a very well thought out and researched opinion. Yeah, no, I agree with most of this. ELESTRALS is an incredibly fun game currently at an impasse, stuck between some people's desire for more Timmy strategies with Ascension focus and some people's desire to never leave the grindy nature of Five's mirrors. Livestream format has been a test of both sides' patience, which feels like that has put the community into a general lull. This person is so correct. This person is so correct. Finally, my current opinions have a platform. Tom W. So true, Tom. Tom W. Your opinions will be platformed here. Yeah, this person is just so correct. Like, there are two camps of players that they want very different things from this game, and this person hit the nail on the head. Exactly. Like, this is exactly what's going on with this game right now. And it's rough. It's rough. Because you don't want to... The game is so small, you don't want to alienate either side, but you also can't please both at the same time. So it's a rough way to try and sail the ship through the eye of the needle, as it were. Then we have this incredibly good and thoughtful take, and then we have pretty good. Not your opinion is shit, said lovingly we go to locals. That's funny. Has some fundamental issues. I feel Sunstrike kind of highlights them quite well, and it's going to be quite the task to deal with all of them IMO, which is part of why I haven't bothered playing in premieres in a while, but core mechanics around the spirit system is really interesting, and there's quite a few ways to enjoy the game in casual, self-curated environments. Pretty good at it. This person is also just straight up true. Yeah, I totally get it. Like, if you're on one side of this divide and you don't like it, that's totally fair. I totally get that. I just hope you come back one day when the right meta strikes you, or just keep having fun in casuals. That as well. So much has been going wrong lately that ELESTRALS really needs a win. Also true. Game blends mechanics from other games nicely, which creates a unique experience. The decision in deck building between having fewer elements for a more consistent spirit deck versus mixing and splashing colors and having to do spirit math and concessions during the game. What spirits you use to expend makes each moment feel interesting. And this is also true. I really love this. I'm ELESTRALS pilled rune cell, absolutely spirit maxing. Okay, this is my new channel slogan. This is my new bio. Absolutely spirit maxing. Call me the ASU frat leader. Aeolia State University. Yeah, Lamau, I forgot I wrote that. I don't think enough people realize you can play this game casually and not think about it in a competitive only mindset. So, I don't know if you were here for this, but if we go back up, most people who took the survey are competitive. Yeah. So we have 46, I'm competitive, 31, I'm competitive. And then we have this that are also kind of competitive, but a little bit lying to themselves. So most people who play this, who took the survey, are very competitive. I don't know if a bunch of casual people saw this survey or were willing to take it. I hope they do next time after they see clips from this. I hope I can get clips from this and make them onto my channel, hopefully. But yeah, this is very competitive-minded responses. Also, people who have been playing for a year plus. There's a lot more room for different folks than the public voices of the community will let you believe. Let me read that again. There's a lot more room for different folks than the public voices of the community will let you believe. I'm not sure what they mean by this. Are casuals not allowed to play casually in premieres? I mean, they are, but they're lying to themselves if they think they're completely casual. I'm not sure what this person means by this. It has been going downhill a lot for a while. We have a doomer. They are entitled to this opinion. Not having the ability to print cards for 6 months is very allowing for this opinion to be true. I wouldn't say true, but it's definitely understandable, I would say. So while I won't tell them that they're wrong, I will say that there are things that do hold up the game more than what they probably singularly focus on. Yeah. I think that's just saying the loudest ones in the room are being listened to more than others. Maybe. Possibly. I'm competitively casual. Too much faith has been lost. Developers can't keep promises. This survey was taken before the Clash update. So they probably didn't know. They definitely didn't know. The game has a ton of potential, but I think the company really needs to lock in a vision for what they want the game to be instead of listening to just the loudest voices. Not everyone is going to be happy, and some people will be pushed away. This is true. This is 100% true, and unfortunately, we are going to have to push people away, and that sucks. But ELESTRALS does need to have a vision of what it needs to be. Otherwise, it will just end up being slop piles. Yeah, no, this person is 100% correct. I think the game is fun. There's so many fun strategies, but a lot of them aren't meta or good enough to get top 32. I'll push back at this a little bit. A lot of strategies that aren't like good are good enough to get top 32. But yeah, there are so many fun strategies in this game. It still has a ton of potential, but wanting to see it continue to grow. That is me. That makes sense. I love the game as a whole. It's easily in my top 2 favorite games of all time, and currently my favorite game to play right now. It is a fun, affordable game. I wish it was bigger so I could play more often. True. It's fun, cheap TCG to play. Yep. Get fish out. Old ELESTRALS, where was Thunder, Earth Thunder, and Wind as decks was great. I think they introduced too much power creep too quickly. That being said, I would prefer a pre-list livestream without Like a Void to this fish meta. I also think that this format has been around for far too long. Also true. Based guy, ELESTRALS top 2. So true. Power creep is a touch too fast. I really don't enjoy set 4 back row with strong bodies that are basically uncontested. There's no good and reliable counterplay to set 4 and play 2 fish when 1 fish draws more back row and fish. Fair. I really enjoy the games, and I can see the team at ELESTRALS actually takes account of the community input. Also true. I think this game has grown immensely and is very exciting. The new ways the game has sought to evolve mechanics and such, and how the creator and his team listen to the players. I just think it carries a big weight on its shoulders because of the many parallels? I think they meant to say parallels in art style to Pokemon and play patterns of Yu-Gi-Oh! And even then, I think they have done a great deal to move away from this and it become its own thing. I think so too. Thing, however, it's what makes most new people outside of the community hesitant to pick up the game. I wouldn't say that. The thing that keeps most people from playing ELESTRALS, in my opinion, is that they don't have the money to play it. cheap as this game is, it still costs you money to get cards. And if your friend isn't telling you how to play this game and giving you cards, it's a lot harder to get into a game that you don't really have a big attachment to, in the form of, oh, I really like the show, or my friend plays it, or, oh, I remember that from when I was a kid, that kind of thing. Like, it has to, like, reel you in on its own. You can't, like, it's really tough, yeah. I want this game to succeed, but I don't see it succeeding if they can't figure out the meta by people with a much better understanding of balancing act. I don't disagree with this. Levitt, best TCG. I think it is very stagnant in terms of player base, that is true. And difficult to see new innovation where we don't get new players into the game. This, in conjunction with some other L's as far as the card quality, Clash client, next set delay, make it difficult to trust that the game is in a good state. I don't disagree with this. The player base has been very stagnant over probably the past 6 to 10 months, probably a year, for being realistic. And that is probably the game's biggest problem. I think the biggest wall is being a small game with a primary US focus, so it's super spread out. So locals will inherently be small without webcams, and webcams even have the air of whackness to it. Yeah. Yeah, it's not like the 90s where, like, the internet was a supplement to your outside life. So, like, you went to school and people played Magic, or like you went to college and people played Magic, and you're like, oh cool, what's that? And they're like, oh, it's Magic, you want to play with us? It's not like ELESTRALS where you learn about it most likely online. You go to the Discord server online, and then you don't have anyone near you that plays, so you have to buy online and play online. 6 to 10 months, you mean live stream format? Live stream format hasn't been 6 months. It hasn't been 10 months. I know that for sure. I was thinking, like, back to, like, middle of Firestorm format. Like, that's probably, like, where the plateau started. It was like probably ban list of first ban list of Firestorm. Best TCG I have ever played, and I played numerous TCG since the mid to late 90s. I will say them taking cheating in premieres uber seriously by just banning your ass if you get caught once is based and good at keeping integrity for webcams. True. Very true. I don't know of any people that have been banned for cheating. But I'm sure it has happened at least once. It's fun. The main issue is a way to get players into it. Yeah. I enjoy the game a lot. It is very difficult to enjoy due to the community nowadays. When I started playing, the main Discord was not having daily meltdowns over cards that need to be hit, complaining about almost anything and everything. I do like how open the team from ELESTRALS tries to be with everyone, and how they are usually pretty quick to admit that they made a mistake. I love the mechanics, the designs of spirits, and just overall game experiences. You are the problem! You suck! Stop complaining. I love how so many people have just said, like, yeah, this community just complains way too much. This game is awesome. Yeah, I love this company. This community sucks, though. This is like the complete opposite of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Players are like, yeah, this community awesome. I love this community. Konami fucking sucks. ELESTRALS players are like, yeah, ELESTRALS, the company, is so awesome. I love them with all my heart. I will defend them with my life. But this community sucks. They complain all the time for no reason. I love that. I enjoy ELESTRALS and I want to continue collecting and playing. I love the art and general vibes of cards. I like how affordable it is, and I enjoy supporting smaller creators. Oh, that's nice. Fun game with interesting mechanics, but it needs to focus more on what makes it unique and not enough cards in Nexus or care about being an ELESTRALS card. This is a pretty good perspective. I enjoy this perspective. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, like more receive effects, more Nexus effects, more like things. I wish there were things that like triggered a Nexus, you know, like a receive effect that like said on receive of a fire, or like, I don't know, receive X, Nexus X, different spirit, or receive X, Nexus Y, and then do something. That would be a cool concept, like a deck around that. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, like people say like the Nexus mechanic is like their favorite thing in this game, and that's totally true. It's my favorite mechanic in this game too. I love Nexusing. I wish we had like a once per turn Nexus. That would be pretty funny. That would make Divines way too broken though. Waste of potential. Ooh, okay. Game looked promising with the Kickstarter, but it all started to go downhill after Moonrise. Arguably way before that. Interesting. An OG Doomer. That mainly comes from the set design not being focused enough early on top. Comes from the set design not being focused enough early on to properly develop archetypes and ways to effectively play an element without pushing too much power creep. That has been fixed now, but IMO, it should have been done a lot earlier. I'll have Poseidon for 500 Alex. Nah. That card's bad. Imagine if there was a once per turn Nexus and Poseidon was just like, yeah, you can Nexus again if you want to. I don't care. That would be a cool thing if they had a spirit action that was that. Oh, if they had like instead of like expend a draw or a normal cast, you could do a Nexus instead. That would be sick as hell. That would be pretty crazy. That would be pretty fun. Boomer being OG Doom. Yeah, it is very interesting to have someone Doom from this long ago. Small creators, wasted potential. It's extremely fun. For the most part, good. Don't feel comfortable buying product once I get play set of cards. Yeah, that's fair. I wouldn't do that. Like, most normal people shouldn't do that anyway. For any card game. Even ELESTRALS. You really only buy product for two reasons in this game. One is you need a playset of every like card. Two is your stellar hunting. I think this game is still blooming, and it's a really great thing to be a part of. It's fun to see new designs, cards, theories with play patterns that the developers are toying with. I think that the game is definitely having growing pains with card design, that's true, and needs to really get testing down to make sure they're making a card game they believe ELESTRALS is rather than what players want. So true. We have talked about this before, so I'm going to move on. Product-wise, I think without Shattered Stars, the game feels very empty, and I'm hoping when it comes back it does not become reprint set. ELESTRALS is far too young to be sending out reprint sets, so if it is a box set, it needs to be full of new cards as well. Okay, so this is a completely different axis to go on. So, I love Shattered Stars. I couldn't afford it, unfortunately, after a couple months that I bought it, but I love buying the singles from it from other people. But I think this person might be correct. Like, while they are alt arts, they are reprints. And, like, you can only have so many alt arts of a card that you have 70 of. Before you're like, yeah, I don't need it. So, having new cards in there is really nice. And their first statement of ELESTRALS feels empty without Shattered Stars releasing is so true. Oh my gosh, this, like, the monthly, like, reveal of what the Shattered Stars set was going to be was so good for this game, because it always gave you something to look forward to every month. Like a reveal video, and it just, like, it slaps. Like, it was just so good. I understand why there isn't Shattered Stars currently. It's because that their printer sucked. And they royally fucked up their like 6 months of production. They had to change producers, and they can't print cards because, well, they're in China and it takes time to ship, and then they also have to, like, do all the setup, which is expensive. Well, not really. It is expensive, but it also is time consuming. And it just really sucks. It just really sucks. I think the reach is lagging and being pushed to community's shoulders to try and uplift the game, which is great as an ambassador myself. I think is fun to get new players into the game, but it's incredibly so true. So true. It is so hard because we need new players to keep this game alive, but it's having friends is so hard. It's so hard to have friends. And then also trying to just find events where you can go and tell people about the game, and then, like, try to get them in it without sounding like you're doing a sales pitch is also really hard. It's just really hard. Side note to they need to restock their shop with structure decks and other products. So they don't do restocks. They do not reprint ever. For any reason, they do not reprint decks or sets. They don't reprint cards. Like, they just straight up, they don't straight up reprint. They do alt arts like Shattered Stars, but they just don't do reprints. And I don't hate that philosophy, because that means my cards will become more valuable over time. But at the same time, we need to get people in this game, and the things that are selling the best need to be reprinted more. But also, this print everything at once and then sell it all has really saved them a lot, more than you think. Can you think what would happen if we, we switched printers to the to the American manufacturer, and we, like, had a big, like, set of restocks for, like, base set or Firestorm, and we had to deal with that? That would be awful. That would be so bad. Like, that would be so noticeable, and just people would riot. So, keeping the print runs, like, high, and then just not reprinting has helped them, especially with all these printer issues. It's helped them a lot more than they think it has. If it wasn't minimum $10 shipping a month on top of the bags, that is so true. That is so true. $30 for 3 packs was ugh. I will say I've never heard of an issue where the no reprint philosophy ever affected actually getting the cards you need. Yeah, they print enough. I will say they do print enough. Currently, for the current player base, they print enough. I wish it grew, and I wish it grew a little faster, but you can only wish. I think Livestream was a good direction for ELESTRALS to go, but they backpedaled too hard and now have shaken my confidence in the game and really hurt my want to invest in product. I would like to have the Cryoscorch and Chronodile structures. I'm sorry about that, Azulai. I can send you the cards in that structure deck. I probably have enough to actually like just make a card for card list and send it to you. Gotta buy singles. Most people who sell singles will give you bulk for incredibly cheap. Elestral singles have no value, especially commons and hollows. Alright, keeps living, Proto Shadow Stars, lagging, live stream is good direction. Okay. I love the game, but I worry about its future. Right now it feels rough. I hope Sunstrike will bring more hope to the community. Me too. I feel like they have made most decisions that I would make in their place, and that they are growing. Okay. Overall, feeling very burnt out. The game is fine, but it has been rough the last few months. True. I enjoy the game, but do believe card design suffers since the effects are written almost solely by one individual. Fair. Oh, okay. We got a big one. This takes up almost the whole screen. Okay. So we're gonna get into this. The game has fundamentals to be something great, but it was only fundamentals for a while, and once Elestral started branching out away from the fundamentals, they got scared by the community. The community needs to realize that the game cannot only be fundamentals. It needs to branch out, or else it will just be the same thing forever. Ooh, this person is stating facts. New strategies that do something different from cast 5, set 2, protect the 5 to ascend into a towers are what is keeping me in the game. I like pure Morfrost, no Cryoling, no Iwilly Champ, because it doesn't aim to do that. It aims to produce an advantage through the little guys that have powerful effects. I like Locagon because it aims to turbo out powerful 2-drops. I like Blizztrix because that's a hot take. I like Blizztrix. That's a hot take. I like Blizztrix because it gains advantage in a unique way compared to every other deck in the game. I don't like Fish because to me it feels like every other Frost deck which just uses Chimera to draw. But Double Speed because it draws 2 instead of 1. Then ascend it into their main beater and not the rest of the Morfrost engine, which is what makes Morfrost unique. Dionysus and Titan feel similar, where they just cast big 1 costs and wait until they get their Ascension line, and that is just so boring. So to summarize, the game needs to make more unique strategies and keep them around, and the community needs to be more accepting of the unique strategies, and if that happens, then maybe we wouldn't be in the situation that is about to happen, where there is a single tier 0 deck. Argument invalid if they like Blizz. This person is just correct. Like, I know I've said this about every Blame the Community post so far, but they're just correct. Like, the community needs to, like, embrace differences about decks and strategies, rather than just say, oh, that's irrelevant. I don't like how that plays, so that deck is bad. And I really appreciate that this person thinks that more diversity in ways to play the game is the way forward for the game, because that is true. The more like optimal, the more like playstyles you have in a game, the more chance someone's going to be able to latch onto that playstyle and want to play the game as a whole. He thinks Moth is going to be tier 0. Chat, does he know? Yeah, he does know, because it is. I guess Pray to RNGesus is technically unique-ish. They were spitting until they alluded to tier 0 Moth. It's good, but it's not tier 0. Okay, fair. It's not tier 0, but it's definitely tier 1. Alright, yeah, this person is spitting. Straight facts. I wonder who this is. It's fine, but needs some work in the long term. The game is a lot of fun. I appreciate the open communication from the game and really good rarity system. Great game, but we didn't need a video game. We needed Clash supported. So sorry about that. Great game. I recommend it to anyone I know that plays TCGs. I think the game is awesome. I love TCGs, and this is one hits all the points on my list. Super fun and easy to play. Not super expensive, beginner friendly. To top it all off, the community is amazing. Fun game, but struggles to break through the big 3 or even 5 ATM. So general buy-in is difficult. That is also true. Alright, I think the game is pretty fun overall. I'm a little worried on where the game is headed, but I'm sure people will cook and are overhyping this moth. Having a great time, can't wait for Sunstrike. Love the game as always, but personally it's taking a back seat until some more interesting stuff happens. I love this game and everything it is and will be in the future. I can't wait to grow as a player alongside ELESTRALS as a brand. Oh, this person's sweet. It's fun, but could use a clearer focus. It's going in the right direction to be a mainstay. Okay. And that is all 66 responses to what is your opinions on the game as a whole. There is another question. What are your opinions on this format? Unfortunately, I do not have time to get into those right now. So remember to like the stream and subscribe. And I might go over these in the next stream. We'll just go over a couple of these. Not great. It's fine. Just too old. No ban list. Fixes the game outright unless 10 plus cards get hit. Ooh, what the hell? That's wrong. They do not need to hit 10 cards. What the hell? They need to hit like maybe 2. At most. Drowned and stale. Format is healthy. I think I screenshotted these two and put it in the chat. This was really funny to see these two next to each other. Fish is fine, consistent enough. Variety in decks is like nothing. Format is stale. It's not as stale as it may appear. There are plenty of strategies that can still be played. Format is okay. Neutral. Overall, great speed. The format is fine. It's fine. A little aggression overall. Pre-like go ahead and hit. Fish go burr. It's a little dry, but overall good. I think the strength of Tier 1 Aphoros board. Okay. Alright. Thank you guys for coming out. Unfortunately, I do have to go. I have some other things I have to attend to. But thank you very much for stopping by. And remember to like and subscribe. And I will be doing this again for the next format. Not as many questions on the game overall. I might do that like once a year, but the next format is just going to be about the format. Alright. Thank you all for coming out, and I will see you all next time. Don't forget to Rune Max. Oh wait, no.